Maybe today won't be so boring after all.
Hey everyone, how's it going? Today I'm going to be doing kind of a voiceover for a Lash game that I enjoyed playing. Not my finest performance, but you'll see. It's got its ups and downs. And yeah, let's get right into it. It's a Lash Bebop lane, which means that with Bomb and Down Slam available, we're going to have a lot of poke. We're versus McGinnis Shiv, unfortunately, who have a lot of sustain. You're going to see that I rush Healbane fairly early after getting some core items because with Geist, Victor, Drifter, Mina, and McGinnis, Healbane's a pretty good high priority item. I think I rush Spirit Bane later on too. I don't know if I rush it. I definitely buy it though. I buy it early enough for it to be pretty important in the late game. But yeah, just outside of commentary, I'll do some commentary later once we get into the actual meat of the game. I wanted to talk a little bit about plans that I have for videos later on for this channel in general. So, I'm Arkin, as you all know from the channel title and everything else, and I am here because, first of all, I think the video game community needs some more positivity, and that's what I enjoy bringing to video games the most. So it's kind of a niche that I very much enjoy filling and want to be filled by someone, so I thought I'd take it upon myself. How noble, I know. And the other reason is because I really enjoy, talking to people of all colors. Is that no? What's the phrase I'm looking for? There's a turn of phrase I'm looking for. Of all stripes? I don't know. I like a bunch of different people, and I thought that content creation, games specifically, because I love playing video games, would be a good way to integrate myself into a community that's known for not being the most welcoming, and I'd like to change that, honestly. In a lot of different ways, people who are good in video games versus bad at video games, who still enjoy playing them. I think those people are extremely valid, and they get a lot of hate for no reason. Obviously, people of different denominations and things receive hate for no reason. I'd like to not have that happen as much, and being a part of the community, trying to make a difference that way, I think is the best way to go about it. In terms of content that I have planned, obviously I've done nothing but Deadlock so far because I love this game. I think it's going to be really big when it comes out, so trying to get in on the ground floor of that while it's available. A little more about me, I am currently taking a semester off university. Thought I'd go back afterwards, so it's going to be fun to be able to do that while also streaming and making videos and stuff. I think that'll help with discipline and diligence and all that good stuff. Other stuff that I have planned, obviously streaming more is important, and I do plan on increasing my number of streams, making sure that the quality of the stream is good, obviously, is an important part of that. I'm very new to Twitch, very new to editing, very new to a lot of stuff with content creation, so I hope that you all will bear with me as I try to improve the quality of my content in every way that I possibly can. If you have ideas for Deadlock videos, things that you'd like to see, I would love to hear about them. I'm here to provide for the community. In other ways, I'm a big fan of stories, so if you want to come and chat in the comments, tell your story. I'd love to be privy to whatever you've got going on. I think that another way, and I think it's very apparent in this game, you don't see it right now because lane phase is usually a little more locked in time for me. I want to make sure I'm not messing anything up, especially on a character I'm not as experienced with. I'm trying to get my Lash a little bit better because I think he can be played in a supportive manner that is conducive to my playstyle. And I love his mobility, as you can see that little hook as the Shiv was coming for me, the little grapple line. This McGinnis does not know what's going on, so we're going to punch her as well. A little ground pound. Yeah, unfortunately my Bebop did die. I don't know why I don't know what was happening there. But I think that a lot of games I find myself quarterbacking. Quarterbacking it just means I talk a lot in the game and try to coordinate the team, make sure we're on the right track. I have some experience with League of Legends, Counter-Strike. I used to play a lot of Paladins. Might even play some Paladins for fun on the channel every once in a while. I don't think there's going to be a lot of demand for it, but this was a fun ult. Boom. And we got 2 kills here. That was, well, the Bebop got 2 kills. Which, you know, still, I'm a big fan of that ult. I could have probably vaulted a little higher. I'm still trying to get used to the movement of the game. I'm not as good as I want to be at all. But I think that so far, I've been having a really good time. You played a little bit of TF2 in the past as well. I was a Pyro main. Never got too deep into the movement or mechanics, like the super deep stuff, but I had a great time playing it with friends. A big majority of my time was spent on CS, CSGO specifically. But Paladins and League as well definitely contribute to my love of MOBA and hero shooter style games. In addition to that, I love support classes. I play a lot of Ivy, I play some Page, I play some Paradox. Bebop I play very supportively. I buy Rescue Beam on every character. I just love cooperation in games, and that was unfortunate. But my Bebop gets the trade. I don't know why I didn't get an assist there. Probably because I was dead already, and the presence thing doesn't trigger once you're dead. That's definitely what happened. But yeah, look, I have Healbane already. Healbane's doing work. Where was I? Yeah, so in terms of quarterbacking, giving call-outs, providing information to your team, I think that there's a lot of wrong ways to go about it, and that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. I think that quarterbacking, I'm going to call it quarterbacking from now on, just so I have a unified term for it, is a very powerful weapon. And I talked about it a little bit in my Ivy video, if anyone's watched that. I think that when you give callouts in a supportive, sort of non-judgmental, very, you want to sound like you are happy to have the people on your team. I know some games that can be difficult. You'll have a serial split pusher, you'll have a jungler who's never showing up to any fights, which sometimes that's their job, sometimes they're just not cooperating. Sometimes you'll have a person who really don't enjoy having them, you know, in your group. And you see I start talking right here because lane phase is kind of over. We're gonna push to grab the Guardian soon, spoiler alert. And once this mid-game part hits, I can't play this game without talking anymore. This game without talking feels wrong to me because of just how, and I assume a lot of you have seen the Funky video. Funky's a content creator who inspires me a lot. I'm a big fan of his work in a lot of ways. The way he talks about mechanics, the way he talks about cooperation really speak to me. And this all was kind of unnecessary, but I think we ended up killing her, yeah, because my Bebop gets parried, and then I hit her with that. I think Bebop kills her somehow. Does he hook her? She dies. I'm fairly certain. No, I go yeah. Boom, bomb. Yeah, there we go. And sorry. Funky's great. Love his content. Love the way he talks about stuff. Big fan. And especially the way he talks about cooperation in this game, because I agree that it is an instrumental aspect of success in this game. If you are not working with your team towards, it's a team-based game, but Deadlock especially, every character works so well. And this is me rotating for a bridge buff way too early, and I end up just taking the Sinners, but I don't get the buffs because the timing on these machines is hard, man. I was a little late on that punch, and the Shiv showed up, so I had to run away. Yeah, so cooperation. You want to, in quarterbacking, first of all, you don't want to tell people what to do. And that might sound, you're like, Arkin, I'm trying to, lead the team to success. I'm going to tell the team. No, you want to make suggestions. You want to steer them in the right direction. Because the unfortunate thing is, they're not always going to listen if you're telling them what to do. Which isn't a bad thing, honestly. People shouldn't blindly follow you. I think once people start to blindly follow you, it's a lot less fun because then you're playing an RTS, and I don't want to play an RTS. I want to play a team-based game. You can see me escaping Drifter ult and also waiting for this gun buff right now. It's going to be a gun buff. And gun buff isn't great on Lash, but we'll take what we can get. Also, they don't get it because there's a Drifter and a Mina on this side, and I do not want either of them to have this buff. Quarterbacking, yes. You want to make suggestions. And you want to make suggestions that the team is going to be enthusiastic about following. You don't want to make a suggestion that you can't tell your 3-0 Billy to chill. He's not going to chill. You can make the suggestion that maybe he get closer to you so you can heal him. Like, that's a suggestion where you're like, hey, I'm providing you a benefit. You should do this because it's like, ooh, I'm helping you because I know you are destroying people. And then you don't move. You kind of chill, let the Billy come to you, and that way you have healed the Billy, which is probably always good. He's probably like half HP or whatnot after this engagement, and you want to make sure that you're phrasing the advice, the command, whatever. You're not commanding people. You're telling them a better way to go about things, because people can forget things. I'm very scatterbrained, so I love it when there's someone making calls on the team. I love when, especially if in this game, me and the Billy were quarterbacking back and forth, and it was wonderful, because this rotation was kind of bad, by the way. Completely off topic. This rotation was horrible. I took like a bunch of damage and then I left. This was not a good rotation. Always try to make sure you're paying attention to wave states when you're rotating. As you can see, we're kind of slowly pushing towards their base, and my Viper is not with me while we're pushing the Guardian. Also, they have a Victor and a Lady Geist, who are both pretty okay wave clearers. As you can see, my team is miles behind me for some reason. Probably because they're buying. They didn't want to take the fight in the first place. Try to make sure you know what your team's going to do, and you want to make sure your minions are in the right place when you rotate like that. Back to quarterbacking. This Billy and I, we were kind of talking back and forth, being like, hey, I see this, and he was like, I see this. And we kind of ran suggestions by each other. I don't think anyone else talked. Oh, the Calico talked a little bit. And it's nice to have honestly, having a tertiary caller who's a little more disconnected from the fights, because Billy and I are going to be in the middle of big team fights. Calico's a little more get in, get out. I'm a jungler. I'm kind of chilling, right? And I think that having that third person who's kind of just running around the map, able to make calls that are more like, hey, I'm not there, so don't fight, is also very, very valuable. But yeah, me and the Billy were calling back and forth. It was great. I think we had a team that was very conducive to big team fights. We've got Billy to kind of take the brunt of the melee and sort of close range engagement. We've got Bebop for picks, Calico to kind of come in from the back line, burst down their Geist, their McGinnis, kind of make sure that their backline never feels safe. I don't think this was a very good play, because I didn't know that Geist could... Sorry, back to the video. I didn't know that Geist could do this. She swapped HP with me through the floor, which I found kind of bizarre, but I think we get the get back, because my Billy was quite good. Yeah, so there goes Victor. Geist is low. I think we get her. Might be lying. I think I'm lying. I don't think we get her. No, I just clear this wave. And we might get this Guardian. I don't even know if we get this Guardian. But what was I saying? Yeah, so I think our team comp was quite good for team fights. Paradox is obviously just a great character in general. I love having a Paradox on the team. And Viper is you need a gun carry. You need someone who can shred objectives. You need someone who can sit in your back line and just go while the entire enemy team is kind of focused on your Billy and stuff. And Lash is an excellent team fighter. I end up split pushing a lot on Lash, especially in this game. Excuse me. And I think that that's just a symptom of players not really knowing what to do in mid to late game. Like, this Viper was playing a little bit reserved in the late game, I think. It was a really bad ground pound. Don't even look at that. And I think what ended up happening was just I was constantly in yellow. I'd stay in yellow lane for like 15 minutes late game. Just kind of pushing wave, jungling, buying stuff, going back, pushing wave, jungling, buying stuff. And I don't know if it was a good use of my time. The game didn't end up going too bad, so I think it was probably fine. Here, my team tries to do earn, and I'm kind of being like, hey, everyone's here. So I don't like this fight. I'm trying to coordinate right now. I'm like, look at everyone here. I'm going to go yellow. I'm going to go push yellow, because I see my Bebop backing up. I'm going to grab blue wave. I'm going to shove blue. I shove blue. My team is currently... Oh, I ended up shoving blue here, actually. I think I take a lot of Walker HP, actually. But, yeah, so, as you can see, even in the game, if you're just pinging stuff, you're doing it better than, like, 70% of players. Actually, Deadlock has kind of a smaller player base, and everyone's a little bit more serious about it. So in Deadlock, there's a lot more pinging going on, but you're still doing it better than like 40% of players who are just either giving nonsense comms or giving no comms. And I think that even just pinging helps. But once you get to actually using voice chat in order to coordinate stuff, talk amongst people, this was not good, but I think I get out, if I recall, yeah. Hit a little 2, I see no one here, hit a little 2 again, oh no, I do not, oh, do I get out? Oh, I do get out, yeah. I kind of dip here, and they can't catch up to me, because Victor is slow and McGinnis is very immobile. This is two different things. Victor has a slow movement speed, and Immobile doesn't have a lot of stamina. So this was kind of a successful push. We got Urn, I think, or we killed enough people to where it didn't really matter what we had going on. I see Drifter here. I was like, Drifter's going to be on me. I think we just killed this Drifter here. Yes, we do. I remember now. This Calico was going to kill him anyway, so I thought I'd help a little bit. Very nice. Oh, it's 2 trophy collector. This Victor was a problem later in the game, but right now he's kind of okay. We pop him, and I'm like, ooh, I see people coming. So I'm trying to get around this wall so that I can ult. Unfortunately, I see nothing. Ooh, actually, I saw this Victor. This was a nice play. Hit the 3 so that you can... I should have killed him a little faster there, but it's fine. And I get out here because my Paradox pushed a wave very nicely so that I can grapple off of her or the minions. And I think I just go by here because I have money. I try to coordinate here. Look, I'm as you can see, I didn't record my comms so that I could do a voiceover, but I'm like, hey, we have this pushed in. Take their jungle. I'm gonna go by. Is basically what I said. And then I point out, hey, guys, just coming to mid. Don't push mid too hard. So just constantly making these little callouts on where everyone is, what you want to happen. Even a bad plan is still a plan. If enough people commit to a bad plan, and the enemy team doesn't have a better plan to counteract it with, your bad plan is a good plan, because it's a plan. Just having an objective that multiple people can coordinate to try to achieve is enormous when you're playing a game like Deadlock. If people are coming together to help you do a thing, you're probably going to get that thing done, even if it's bad. And I actually called this Drifter was coming for me. I was like, hey, I'm doing Vending Machine. I just saw the Drifter mid. He's probably on me. And the whole team came, and I think we end up killing him here. And I get to back up at 500 HP. 400 HP, whatever. I get away. And it's frankly very, very good. Yeah, so I'm back in base. Billy's talking, I'm talking back and forth with him. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go shove out green. He's like, perfect. And I think that something else that doesn't get talked about enough is positivity. And I know I was like, oh, I'm trying to be positive in the game community or whatnot. That's not what I'm talking about here. When I say positivity, I mean in a game that is going well, is going poorly, is going mediocre, whatever the situation is. If you keep your spirits up, banter with your team. Look, I'm not a toxic gamer, but if my teammate absolutely demolishes somebody, I'm gonna hype that guy up. I'm gonna be like, dude, you totally destroyed him or whatever. You know, I don't know what people say these days but you want to hype him up a little bit. Make sure he's not too hard. You know, you don't want them to start making Maverick plays all over the place, but you want them to know that you believe in their skill. Like, hey, it feels good to have you on my team. Your pushes are working. Your kills are impactful. If someone knows that, it is a buff that you grant to your team with 0 mechanical skill. And that is priceless. It's priceless. I buy Cultist here. I've been really liking Cultist on a lot of characters. I bought it on Ivy. It was good on Ivy. I bought it on 7. It was great on 7, obviously. But I buy it on Lash here because I'm feeling kind of underfarmed. I have this Trophy Collector sitting in my... Trophy Collector is an item I go back and forth on. Sometimes it feels incredible. Sometimes it feels terrible. I'm behind the whole team here. I probably should have ulted immediately there. That shows you my inexperience on Lash. I end up ulting here. Still a pretty good ult. This McGinnis gets away, unfortunately. I didn't have any follow-up because my team had backed up. And I just ended up going back and forth under this Walker for a little bit. Lash has pretty okay sustain thanks to Flog. So It wasn't an issue. Get a little ground, ground pound. And I'm very curious as to why. So this drifter played this very strangely. I think he teleported behind me here. No, he didn't. He's gonna come out of the right side. He just walks to Walker. To the Shiv, yeah, so there's the drifter. The Shiv dies here, I think, to burn or whatever. And the drifter just, I punch him, and he just runs away. I feel like you're gonna die anyway. I feel like you should just go for the kill there. And I back up because I'm low, obviously. But what is important in games like this game was pretty close all the way through. We were kind of ahead throughout the whole thing, but it was still very close. You want to keep comms open. You want to make sure that people feel good. Also, this boom. You want to make sure that people feel good about being on your team. We killed this drifter too, I'm fairly certain, because I have my 2 up. Slam. Get ahead of him, put a little punch, he's down. And we push and grab a Walker on here, I think. But yeah, you want to make your team feel involved, you want to make them feel good. It's important, and it's a lot of effort. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes it's not going to be worth it. Sometimes you just want to chill. You just want to have a good time, and when you're not sweating, I kind of can't play games if I'm not trying my hardest. And I mean like hardest. Not I'm trying to win but I'm not talking. I can't play Deadlock if I'm not communicating with my team because it feels so much worse. And this was a nice little getaway. Once again, still not very used to Lash movement. Little slam down there. I think this ended up going poorly, yeah. I ended up dying here. However, we take mid-walker and we have green pushed up pretty well as well. So it was overall a very positive trade in my opinion. And yeah, this Paradox is dead though. It's fine. We got the blue walker. So another slot opened up. Perfectly fine. And that's why I really enjoy content creators that have that more positive outlook. I'm a big fan of Average Jonas. He does a bunch of educational stuff. Big fan of his work. There's a Bananas? There's a Bebop player who, I mean, he can get a little heated in some of his games, but he's mostly a pretty chill, sort of happy guy, so I very much enjoy watching him. And there's some guys in other games, like Baus in League. I love watching his streams and his videos. He's just always kind of, he can get tilted too. I think everyone can get tilted, but I think he exemplifies the style of gaming that I really strive to bring to the forefront. Just because he's just so positive. This is a nice ult. Only ended up snagging one, but and then McGinnis ulted here. I'm trying to chase this Shiv, and I realize, wow, I'm getting low real quick. Slam on the drifter. I'm like, wow, this drifter is a problem. Little flog. And I end up living. But it was close. And we get, yeah, green and yellow walkers. We might have already had yellow walker. Health swap from the guy seemed strange there to me, because you're kind of in the middle of everything. You're probably going to die. And you swap with the person furthest away. I'm going to assume it was a misclick.
If your champ likes siphoning bullets, it might be.
But yeah, I'm very much enjoying Lash as of late. He feels a little bit, I think he lacks agency in a couple ways because he doesn't have enough kill potential on his own. I think if you play properly with your team the way that I was doing in this game, I think you can get a lot better result than if you were just kind of soloing on Lash. His movement is extremely satisfying. I'm still very, very bad at it, but his 2 and heavy meleeing around and sort of double jumping, triple jumping, stamina mastery stuff, very satisfying. I think a lot of the Deadlock characters are just incredibly well designed. Some of them still need some work, obviously. I think Drifters 3 is still a little overpowered. I think that Billy's gun could honestly use a little bit of nerfing as well. He's just very strong right now.
I don't like this fight. Try to get out.
Holiday is going to be a character that is divisive amongst the community, I think, because if you're playing against a good Holiday, you're kind of getting your butt kicked. But if you're playing against a bad Holiday, I don't think you can lose, because you need to be good if you're playing that character. So, ideally only the good people will play her, or they'll play her and get good at her and whatnot. But I think for the most part, like, bunch of the characters I play. Paradox's kit is a work of art. I think that Ivy's kit is great. I think Bebop's kit is such a cool take on... There's a really good video that I watched about Bebop being kind of a subversion of the hook character genre. Very, very good video. Highly suggested. And I love that that Deadlock explores kind of new space in the designs of its characters. I think that Lash is kind of that grappler is really interesting as well, because he's like a high-flying sort of... And I think he's supposed to be... He's like a skyship engineer, dock worker, dockhand. He's like a skyship dock, which is awesome. It's such a cool piece of world building. And you know, he's voiced by the same guy that does Johnny Cage in Mortal Kombat. So I think he very much fits the mold of like that one sort of pissant, sort of, you know, fast talk, like smart mouth. But he's still very good in a fight, and I'm a big Deadpool fan as well, so I enjoy that that archetype in a lot of ways. And you know, back to kind of the main point of what I want to talk about was, I think that a lot of, I don't know, I think I've kind of said my piece on what I wanted to say in terms of comms, positivity, everything like that. I think that overflooding comms can be an issue. If you kind of talk too much, if you kind of call out everything, like, even though it would be helpful to your team to call out when camps respawn, I don't think it's necessary. I think that there's indicators on the map. I think that people will be running around the map enough to, as you can see, I buy Spirit Burn over Boundless Spirit because I think it's going to be really good against the healing characters. As I was saying, people are going to be running around the map enough to know when things are happening. They're just going to be there when the camp respawns. They're probably just going to be there. So there's no reason to be like, hey, 2 minutes to this small camp respawning. It just muddies the comms, and you never want misunderstandings or kind of over communication to become a problem in your game, especially because it can be such a potent weapon when used properly. What else? Oh, I guess I could talk about synergy a little bit. Especially, I don't think you should consider synergy when being like, I should talk to my teammate. Obviously, you know, if you're a McGinnis and a Bebop and you can coordinate a hook wall, it's going to be more valuable to calm that kind of thing versus just being like a 7 and a Mina in lane who can just shred the opponent. Calling out when enemies are low, calling out when enemies are, and you can see I will not stand for this lady guys getting away. I think we should go to mid boss here. 3 dead, very nice. That is the #1 call that you should be making. If you take nothing else from this video about calls, call for mid boss. Mid boss is very strong. Call for your gun carry to come so you can shred it faster. Call for your team to split push while you do mid boss if you have that luxury. Call for people to come to mid boss if there's 2 or 3 enemies dead. Mid boss is just like, hey, just throw one message into the voice chat. Be like, yo, can we do mid boss?
Oh yeah, first half patron?
I think it's a lot more useful than people think. Also, when retreating, whether you are on the receiving end of a hey let's get out of here call, or you are the one giving the hey let's get out of here call, talk. Because if someone is stuck in the enemy base with nowhere to go, it's a horrible feeling. It kind of happens in this game. I think our Viper was very silent throughout this game, so it was kind of difficult to gauge what was going on with them. And we end up leaving them in base and they end up dying. If you do not have time to retreat, and we have multiple full health bodies we can throw at the problem to help you get out, that is something that is important. That's what we want to do. Because one, obviously we don't want the enemy to get the souls. You might have some extra souls on you from jungling. Just bad when enemy get more money. We all know this. Second of all, it's another morale thing. Being the only one that dies in a team incursion feels bad, dude. It's like, oh, 5 people got... I don't feel bad. I like being the one that's dying because I'm like, hey, I was useful. But I think for a lot of people it can be a little disheartening if you're the only one that dies in an engagement.
Alright, we get out there.
And I think the lessening those being... And if you fail, let's say 3 of you die while trying to get 1 person out. So instead of 1 person dying, it was 3. Obviously a worse situation. But you could have died trying to help your friend, which I think, once again, helps with morale a little bit. Helps with people kind of trusting each other more to help out. But if you do manage to get them out, you basically won the game. The morale buff from that alone is worth multiple kills, and you've gotten a person out, which means they didn't get souls. You have more people to work on the map with, and it's just such a good thing. You know, it feels good when your teammates can bail you out. It's part of the whole cooperation side of this game that I love interacting with.
You just steal all their shit.
More stuff that I have planned for the channel. I'd like to do some challenge videos. I think that space is a little bit underexplored in Deadlock. I think if anyone's heard of Ultimate Bravery in League, it's sort of you pick a random champion, you pick a bunch of every item is randomized. Kind of hard right now because I don't want to grief people's games. I think that's kind of a not a very good move if you're building, you know, Cold Front Vindicta in a in a competitive ranked lobby. So probably gonna save that for when casual queue comes out. But it's an idea that I like. I've got some other sort of weird, wacky, you know, challenge ideas, which I don't know if I'm gonna do. I don't know if I want to make content like that. I think I prefer making more educational sort of, hey, what's going on? Here's some problems that I see with people. Let's try to fix them so that everyone's having a better time playing the game, right? I think that's kind of all I want to talk about. I can kind of do a little play-by-play for the last bit of this gameplay. I'll see what's going on. So we kind of got everyone out on the map. I'm mid, kind of grouped with everybody. I'm here to grab the underground camp over here. We see two mid here, and I think my team starts a fight middle, which is good. We have a rejuve, so starting fights is never a bad idea.
I heard something.
And Billy calms that he hears something near Calico, so we start chasing this drifter. And I assume their mid players rotate over here. Shiv is already in the lane, probably pushing the wave, and the Mina can rotate as well. So I'm like, hey, probably gonna be a big scrap over there. They're even chasing this Shiv, so I'm like, oh, they're gonna rotate. So I start split pushing yellow. Two people are pushing blue as well. This is an ideal setup. Look at how many lanes are being pushed. I could have even been a little more aggressive here. The only reason I didn't want to do that is because they have base guardian. And I was like, oh wait, hold on. My team is pushing up. I should just go. I should aggress. I see Geist in base. I'm like, it's go time. As you can see, our Viper is kind of under-farmed, underfed. I see this Mina. I'm like, I don't want to be in the line of sight of that. And then I'm like, oh no, we take these easy. You know, just want to get back in there, hit a little stomp, hit a little. I think I dodge roll in. I scorn this thing. Shiv is very low. I think what ends up happening here is my team dies to, yeah, so we start to slowly die here. I don't think I make it out. I flogged the base guardian, which is the patron, which was not ideal. Use my slam to get out. We kind of get out scot-free a little bit. There's a little fight that's gonna happen. I call Mina ult used because I'm like, too green, take that fight, they're chasing me. Because I hear someone behind me. It was the drifter. I thought it was the Geist, but it was the drifter. But once I hear the ult, I'm like, oh, the drifter was chasing me. And I make it over to this fight. This was a very nice little engagement. I see McGinnis turret. I'm like, they're probably playing somewhere near turret. I slam down. I execute this Mina. And then I get out. My team is re-engaging. You can see the Billy running in. You can see Bebop running in here. I'm like, I should get back in. So I go here. I'm like, zip line. I speed up to get this little speed boost. I ult. I'm like, we got it. I throw them over this wall. And that was just very, very nice. Throwing them over the McGinnis wall was very big there. We kill. There's a Victor. Now, here was the problem. Paradox, Bebop, and I are here. Bebop just ulted. And we don't have a wave. This was the wrong play for us to walk in here. We should have backed up, pushed waves, chilled. Probably ran an urn. But I was very, very low. Paradox and Bebop alone can't get this done because Victor is Victor. So, definitely a misplay on our part. And I've just got to contemplate this for the next 70 seconds. Nothing very interesting happens. But, you know, I guess we can talk about it a little bit. Yeah, so I think that push was bad. I think that we could have backed up, taken some jungle, pushed waves out, done earn, just everything, all of the above.
My heel cut.
Especially because I already had a lot of money. So being able to buy as well would have been nice. And you force the victor and everyone respawning to kind of turtle up because they don't want to push out and take waves because your team is like Viper and Calico were already going to be up by the time we were kind of pushing waves. So they want to just kind of turtle up in base and wait. And you can see me and the Billy kind of exchanging words back and forth here. And I'm talking about, hey, that's probably the wrong move. Let's just try to group and kind of see if we can take a team fight. I think we're way stronger in a team fight, and he definitely agreed with me. I've been really liking this build. The big damage absolute Chad Lash Bebop sucks. It's been very good. Oh, we were discussing, Billy was wondering what he should purchase anti-heal wise, and Paradox reminded us that he purges, and I suggested Spirit Burn. And I don't know if Billy probably doesn't build Spirit Burn, but I was suggesting it because they have a lot of healing. I don't know why I didn't just buy Boundless Spirit like 20 years ago during whatever. I wasted like 2 seconds. And I go over here to clear yellow because I honestly thought they would take this Walker, but they played a lot more cautious, which was probably for their benefit. And I just start pushing up yellow. You know, I have a lot of get out of trouble tools. I have full stamina mastery. I have my 2 kind of repel abilities. I shove this and I'm like, all right, we're fighting. Ooh, I see McGinnis, I see Geist. Okay. I'm like, I can get out of this so easily. Right? I'm like, hey, McGinnis is... This guy's chasing me, I don't know McGinnis is what I called here. And I'm here. And we just killed Drifter. And we see Vic and McGinnis both there. And someone calls mid-boss here.
We could just force mid now.
Yeah, so Billy calls mid. I'm like, that's a great idea. We should immediately force mid. And this is kind of what starts to lead to our win. Spoiler alert, we win. I don't think it's a surprise to anyone. We're about 25k ahead. And we're talking a lot more than they are. I kind of joke about Cultist not working on the mid-boss here. And full slam, full flog, and we're going to get this mid-boss in pretty quick, short order. Billy's kind of camping the outside of the mid-boss pit, which I don't think is necessary, but I think he made the call early, and I was like, that's fine. Because if your teammate is confident enough in a call, kind of just let them do it.
If they push it, they can't win in time.
And I called, hey, should we have someone go back for a green wave? And Billy was like, no, we should just push ahead. Very good call on his part, because they cannot, and a little bit, try to get there a little bit ahead of time. Billy is very correct in that they can't do anything. This ult was not good. I mean, it was fine. We hate crime in the McGinnis. And I'm like, hey, you can see my voice pop in a sec. I'm like, can we just please just focus Patron? I think we kill it. And my team, in short order, starts focusing Patron. And we end up taking it. And GG's all around are called. Very successful game in overall.
I'll be honest, I want to see if I get like one more kill.
My Billy calls that he was going for one more kill. My Billy is literally trolling. But yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed that gameplay. I'll catch you later.